Julian Bousquet, Tariq Sims at 35. Make those players defensively, make them do effort on effort and take some energy away from them, and then trust the skills that Paul Rowley allows them to play with.
But the return of Briley could be really important. Missed the last couple with a hamstring injury, and it was a really fascinating interview, wasn't it? The bench podcast that we saw this week. If you haven't looked at it or watched it or heard it, have a look for that on the Sky Sports app, the Sky Sports website. Ryan Briley talking to John and Jen, a really revealing interview about what's going on at Salford and what it's been like for the players behind the scenes. But it's all on, it's all about the match now. And it's all about trying to cause what would be a huge upset. Catalan looking for their third win in the last 4 games. They've had an indifferent start to the season, should we say. And here is Pangai Jr., who's been one of the stars, really bright start to his career. And there's the first mistake. And not a lot that Tommy Makinson could do about that. The ball was, I think, going behind him. He may well have overrun it. And Makinson just receiving some treatment. Not the one surprise, by the way. Tommy Makinson yet to score a try, would you believe?
Yeah, he hasn't found his feet, you could say. And he's getting used to the players around him. They're getting used to him. Some of the work that he does in backfield, he's been doing since he was a young boy, playing his junior rugby, but understanding the people around him, them getting to know what he wants from them is a work in progress. There's no doubt he will get over that white line. And I talked about the skills before kickoff. I talked about how important it would be for them. And if they start to make mistakes and invite Salford Red Devils a late team change, haven't we, Stu?
Yeah, we have. News coming in from pitch side is that Remus Smith was actually hurt in the last few moments of the warm-up. So Steve McNamara has been forced to make changes, and Fuman Yaha is now playing in the centre. The back line will be Makinson, Laguerre, Yaha and Darrell Latour on the wing. Problems before the game even started, but yeah, we believe it was the last few moments of the warm-up that Remus Smith pulled up. But here comes Harvey Wilson for the Salford Red Devils, another young man who is looking to make a big impression. The experienced Mellor at dummy half. The ball will go out to that right-hand side, and well, the kick through there, the kick was Masters, but it was well taken by Arspuro Bicho. Good positioning from the young fullback, being mentored, of course, by Sam Tompkins. And Steve McNamara is hopeful that at worst Sam Tompkins will be back in a Catalan jersey for Magic Weekend in Newcastle, only a fortnight away. Always one of the highlights of the Super League season. Garcia back in at hooker.
40-20 kick that, Stuart.
Well, it was Keary.
I think he's got it.
I think he's got it. That's
yeah, kicked on fourth tackle. Obviously, they made a mistake the previous set of 6. Ryan Briley had virtually no chance of either anticipating that kick or getting to it once it got in. The perfect angle from Luke Keary.
Well, what a moment as well for Luke Keary today. His 250th career appearance, the Australian. And he's put his side in a really promising position. It was Pangai Jr. who was brought down. Fage finds Bousquet. First real opportunity for either side. It's come to Catalan. Good defence. Quick play the ball. Garcia was going on his own, but Salford so far holding firm. Here is Partington now, and Fage looking for a way through. Good defence again. Helliwell was in there to make the tackle. They go to the left-hand side. Partington involved again, looking for Pangai Jr. All a bit disjointed so far in this first real push from the Catalan Dragons. What can they come up with a couple of tackles left in the set? Keary goes over the top. Makinson! As Tommy Makinson finally scored his first try for the Catalan Dragons. He thinks he has. He's celebrating. And Tommy Makinson, it's taken him 3 months, the former St Helens star, but it was Keary with the kick, it was Makinson with the finish we've seen so often.
Well, you only mentioned it a moment ago about him not getting over the whitewash. Tommy Makinson knows that kick is coming. The bounce is perfect for him. He judges it to perfection. And he gets off the mark for his new club, Tommy Makinson, as he turned round and celebrated with the biggest smile. I feel there was a little bit of relief in that. At least, at last, I've got over.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
It's a nice kick from Luke Keary, though, wasn't it? Recognised the space, put it where he wanted it, and invited the winger, the veteran winger, to dab it down.
Yeah, either.
So Makinson puts Catalan in front. Yeah, it all came from the 40-20. Then a little kick over the top, and Luke Keary enjoying himself on his 250th career appearance. A 3 times NRL Grand Final winner, Luke Keary. And this is Aspuro Bichet with the attempt off the touchline. The perfect start for the Catalan Dragons. 19 years of age. Just to the left of the sticks. It wasn't far away, was it? Just to the left of the sticks. 4-0, Catalan lead.
A good start from the home side. It all came from that 40-20 kick from Luke Keary. From that field position, put a beautiful kick in. And Tommy Makinson delighted to get off the mark.
Okay, well, we're in it now, we'll stay in it. Time off. Jayden!
They want a clean set with ball in hand now, the Catalan Dragons.
Get straight out with this ruck then.
We said about the greasy ball, the greasy conditions. Don't allow themselves to fall into the trap of not paying the right respect to their opponents.
Line! Go on.
Well, apologies if you've noticed a few problems with the sound from the south of France. And we're back in business with Catalan leading 4-0 thanks to that try from Tommy Makinson, his first try for the Dragons. The former St Helens winger who's been so prolific. And that try, by the way, means he needs just 1 point to go past a career 1,500 points. And just to add to the Salford woes, penalty given away for offside. And Keary wasting no time at all getting the ball booted downfield.
Well, they want to keep this game quick, the Catalan Dragons, and the Red Devils trying to get off the line, trying to restrict those metres and momentum. Have given Marcus Griffiths an easy decision to blow the whistle. And it's that balance, isn't it? Getting off the line, putting pressure on players like Tavita Pangai Jr., getting the balance right, making sure you're onside and your discipline is good.
Here is Bousquet once more. What a big player he's been for the Catalan Dragons. Partington and Pangai Jr. with another offload. He's making a habit of that. Pangai Jr. and Herman Essa, the top offloaders in Super League.
Free. Go free. Who?
If you are just joining us, just a reminder that Remus Smith was a very late withdrawal, picking up an injury in the last few seconds of the warm-up. Farron Yaha is on the field. There's the kick forward by Farge, and Briley behind his own post.
Great chase.
Great chase it was.
It was a great chase from Catalan Dragons. And we're going to talk about the inexperienced players within the ranks of Salford Red Devils, but we're also going to pay tribute to players like Jack Ormonroyd, like Ryan Briley, who are doing their absolute best for the side, even when the scoreboard is against them. Jack Ormonroyd put pressure on Catalan. The kick was good, but the chase was better.
Well, 4-0 up and dominating. The sun shining in Perpignan at the moment. It's shining on the Catalan Dragons. There was a violent thunderstorm an hour or so before the kickoff. There really was in Perpignan. You couldn't see a yard in front of your face, it was that bad. But that's a good offload here for Garcia, looking to make strides in front of those Salford sticks. Ollie Partington goes into dummy half. Here is Farge, little dummy. But the pressure already building on Salford in the early stages. Garcia once more. Here is Pangai Jr. Can they stop him?
Well done.
Brilliant defence. Vaughan was there. Briley was there. There's a whole load of bodies. I think Ben Helliwell was there
well done
as well.
From the Red Devils. Out-muscled the big man. All they've done is prevented him from putting the ball down.
Overlap, Keary. Well, there could well be a try here for Tariq Sims. It looked like he was tackled close to the line, but he managed to wriggle free. And Keary, the architect again, little double pump, short pass, and Tariq Sims goes over for the second try. 2 tries in the first 10 minutes, and Catalan already taking control.
Well, Pangai Jr. held up over the try line, went back 10 metres. Really slick handling from the Dragons. They have a slight question mark over that ball from Keary, but it's a committed line. Yeah. Those 50-50 calls. When you're down, you're down. Might be a better angle. Irrespective of whether it was a line ball forward or backward, it has been given. It's 4, potentially 6 points for the home team. Tariq Sims back in the starting lineup. That's his second try of 2025. Given good service since he's come over from the NRL.
Yeah, veteran status, Tariq Sims, but he can still play without a shadow of a doubt. Aspuro Bichet here looking to make it 10-0 in even time, but Salford already on the back foot. But Luke Keary involved in absolutely everything that the Catalan Dragons are doing, and that'll be a big plus for Steve McNamara, because there's no doubt that Keary has taken some time to settle in to the Super League. But he's certainly showing all his skills today in Perpignan. Easy kick for Aspuro Bichet. And Catalan already 10 points to the good.
Well, it's a nice conversion. Do the young fullbacks confidence the world of good. But that's the second time they've been down near their own try line. The Salford Red Devils have failed to keep Catalan Dragons out.
Fuad Yaha playing centre, has never played anywhere else in his career in the wing. So he's going to have to adjust, isn't he?
Fuad Yaha's a really strong runner of the ball. I'm not sure about his centre play, but Fuad Yaha came to the Rhinos when I was head of youth development. Could have played in the forwards. Was brave. Doesn't necessarily, when he plays on the wing, look for work, but when he gets ball in hand, he's really dangerous with it. It might get him a little bit closer to the action, one position further in and give him more involvement.
Well, he's stuck around as well, hasn't he? Didn't get too many chances last year because of Tom Davis and Tom Johnson. Then they bring in Tommy Makinson and Nick Cottridge, so he's had to be patient, but he's got an opportunity today, as Catalan have again. Farr's trying to move the ball out. They're just having a go. They really know that Salford are struggling to get back in defence. The numbers. That's a good kick. Really well taken. Really well taken. Salford survive. And young Nathan Connell it was who came up with the ball.
It feels like they've hardly touched the ball, Salford. They've either been defending or behind their own sticks watching a conversion go over. What they can't allow themselves to do is, what they can't allow Catalan Dragons to do is dictate the pace of the game, especially the speed of the play the ball with some of those big players we've talked about, Pangai Jr., Bousquet, Sims.
Play the ball.
2 tries from Makinson and from Tariq Sims. 10-0 it is, 13 minutes gone, and it's not getting any easier, is it, for Paul Rowley? And it won't get any easier either when you consider that they are by far the lowest scorers in Super League. Just 43 points they've scored in 7 games, Barry.
And having watched, without the numbers to back it up, having watched Salford play, you feel like they haven't had too many shellackings, but St Helens, Wigan and Hull KR have scored 40+ points against them. So when it goes bad, it goes desperately bad. When they're in the fight, they only lose by 8 or 10 points.
Well, they gave it a real go, didn't they? A fortnight ago in the Cup, losing only by 20 points to 12. But they really are on the back foot, scrambling here. Farge for Pangai Jr. looking to find a way through. Swats off the challenge there of Mellor. Little kick through on the far side, and Connell did well.
Nice work.
Read that well, the young winger. But it's going to be another goal line dropout and more pressure for the Salford Red Devils. 15 minutes gone, one-way traffic, Catalan leading 10-0.
Showed nice urgency to the winger because it was a deception play. Luke Keary holds the ball in two hands as if he's going to pass it, takes a couple of steps forward, then puts the ball on the end of his toe, which means the winger, Nathan Connell, needed to get on his bike, get back and deal with the threat.
Young Kai Morgan, they go for the short dropout, see if they can get the ball back, and they can't. Well, they're trying everything they can, Salford, just to get their hands on the ball, unable to do it. That was Laguerre brought down by Vaughan, and here is Pangai Jr. once more. The two props seeing a lot of the ball and doing a lot of damage in the opening quarter. Garcia assessing his options. Farge now with a short pass, and you just feel that the next try isn't too far in coming. Here is Theo Farge. The ball will go out to the left-hand side. Well, it was Partington who got the ball back. Play on, they say. Tariq Sims is brought down. One of the try scorers, Garcia. Quick play the ball once more, trying to offload, looking for Garcia right in front of the post. Last one. What's the last tackle play? Garcia gets the ball inside, and Julien Bousquet charges over from 2 yards out. Bousquet, who's been a fantastic servant for the Catalan Dragons and ever present this season. He's approaching 300 games in a Catalan shirt, and he's just scored a third try of the afternoon.
Yeah, do you know, I'm going to try as hard as I can, Stuart, not to kick a cowering dog. But Salford Red Devils probably needed a little bit more urgency to get up off the line. Joe Mellor, that close to his line, a legs tackle is not perhaps the right tackle selection. On a big man like that, so close to the line. We saw an example of it on the previous try where Pangai Jr., you don't try and out-muscle and push him back, just stop him from putting the ball down, but you can't do it on your own. Joe Mellor was singled out, a one-on-one tackle, and it's an easy try for the Dragons.
They just haven't had the ball, have they?
They've only had it near their own line.
Yeah. Guillermo Aspuro Bichet, highly thought of by everybody in the Catalan club. This guy, they reckon, is going to be a big, big star. No problems whatsoever, and it's 16 points to 0. And even at this early stage, you're fearing the worst for Salford.
We're not even a quarter of the way through the game. Urgency and pride in your defence near your try line is non-negotiable. And there's a decent following of Red Devils fans made the trip across. You can just see big Jack Ormonroyd there, who will run his blood to water. Tiaki Chan, who started his career as a Catalan Dragons player in 2022.
Jackie Chan's a French national.
Yeah.
As one French captain. His dad, the great Alex Chan, is still general manager at the Dragons. Yeah, but it could be a long evening.
Yeah, there's somebody on the floor. Is it Foster?
It may well have been. He's going to have to stop play here. That was the charge from Julien Bousquet.
Yeah, I think it's Foster.
Yeah, Matthew Foster, who's had some awful luck with injuries in his career. He suffered 2 ACL injuries and may well have to go off here for an HIA head assessment for
Even when he got up, he was wobbling. He was on the floor for what could have been 3 or 4 seconds. You can just see head in the wrong place. When it sort of ricochets backwards, sometimes it hits the floor. Doesn't necessarily have to hit the floor. That rattling of the neck and head region is enough to send him wonky and get him over the sideline.
Harvey Makin is on for his debut on loan from Wigan. Just working it out, you know, Barry. It's incredible to show how Salford have been trouble this season with trying to field a team. With Makin and Jake Fulis making his debut on the wing, it takes the number of players used by Salford already this season to 45.
Yeah, big number.
45.
And I think there are 4 lone players on duty this afternoon.
Yeah, Jake Fulis, Johnny Vaughan, George Hill, Harvey Makin, all on loan from Warrington, St Helens, Castleford and Wigan respectively.
Oh, that's great work. Good hustle. Is it Joe Mellor? There's a loose offload from Catalan. Joe Mellor, I think, did enough to get possession back.
Yeah, the first time that we've seen Salford with an opportunity to attack inside the Catalan half. Wilson gets it inside for the debutant Makin.
Hold, go 2.
What an opportunity then for Salford. First opportunity. We're reaching the midway point in the first half. Catalan dominant. Morgan it is, and Nicarima.
Drop. 4, move. They can play on there.
Nowhere to go, was there? Joe Shorrocks. Here is Wilson. Wilson with a flat pass, and that was good defence. I think it was Partington who brought him down. Last one then for Salford.
I'm not sure about that, Stuart. Kai Morgan's been really good, and he's making good progress in his development as a top-level halfback. I think if he had his time again, he'd perhaps just dab that ball, go for repeat possession, or just get him a little bit closer to their own line.
16-0 it is, 20 minutes gone in the first half. Catalan looking for their 4th win in the last 5. Their season has just started to take shape after a really disappointing start. Here is Aispuro Bichet, Garcia at dummy half. Chris Satai is on the field for the Dragons. Landmark day for him as well. The 150th appearance of his career. That's a really good kick downfield, isn't it? Look where it's fielded.
Just look at that chase, though, Stuart.
Yep.
It's a demoralising chase, isn't it, for Salford Red Devils players? Young Nathan Connell does his job, gets back, tries to make some metres forward. He's got a solid wall in front of him. Ollie Partington, ex-Red Devil, leading the charge.
Yeah, and Ollie Partington also Super League top tackler. Oh, that's as good mass as it is. Gets the ball inside. Did it go backwards? It went forward. It got a touch, didn't it? Just for a little glimmer there. It looked like Salford were going to mount an attack.
And you saw a glimmer of what he can do with the ball, Jaden Nicarima. We highlighted him before the match. Made his debut for the Roosters in the World Club Challenge 2016, I think it was.
Didn't work out for him, did it?
No, it didn't. But
13 games, he was released.
Came to the Catalan Dragons, was released, went to the Salford Red Devils, and you saw a little sneaky peek of his skill. He hands Theo Farge off, ball out in one hand. If you can put any criticism against him, he is reckless with those offloads.
And all of a sudden, it was half a chance for Salford, and now it's a big opportunity for Catalan. That was Yaha who was brought down. Here is Chris Satai.
Move, onside. Hold. Go on.
Farge once more. Bousquet, one of the try scorers.
Line. Go to.
Justin Sangare is on as well for Salford. But it's desperate defence here. Sangare it was who made the tackle on Satai. Here is Fage now. Little kick through towards the line. Well read by Kai Morgan. Did well, the young man. Salford keep Catalan at bay. For how long, I'm not so sure. And here is young Jake Hewless on debut, but running into a Dragons wall.
Well, he won't give up, Jake Hewless, the brother of Josh, who played this afternoon for Warrington's first team. His parents were in a real tussle whether to go over and watch Jake for his new club, but they chose to stay in sunny Warrington. They'll be supporting him on the TV, and they want him to get some good touches in. It's not bad from the Red Devils. They've managed to repel and deal with the kick from Theo Fage, and they'll put a kick in here, having completed a set.
Yeah, but kicking from just outside their own 20. Well taken by Spuro Bichet. Yeah, it was high, I think it was. Making and Sangare.
Well, you could just see the head rock back. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, and I think there's a bit of chatter here. There's a bit of chatter here with the players telling Marcus Griffiths, young kid, first defensive involvement, a little bit over-eager. It looks like there's no harm done. I'd hate to see anything happen here. Marcus Griffiths, just chat. Just chat, have a word with the young kid.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
He's staying on, Ron, just so you know.
Yeah, Ryan Briley, Perry for his thoughts. Very passionate about the Salford Red Devils. He isn't 100% fit, but he's putting his head on the line. The penalty, that's all it is. That's the right call.
Yeah. Making his way in the game. Harvey making a play against his dad, Craig. Back in the long distant past. He was full of fire and full of endeavour.
Yeah.
Oh. Masters then, one of the experienced players. And Salford fans have their own little bit of entertainment going on.
Well, great support in the current situation for the hundreds of Salford fans who've gone out to Perpignan to support their side and sing and shout. Here is Partington, the former Salford player, and Chris Satai wrapped up just 3 or 4 yards away from the try line. Garcia now. Keary switches play for Fage. Little chip through. Well, I think that came off the Catalan player, a Salford player, then a Salford player, and it's picked up by Makinson. Makinson going on his own, looking to double up after scoring his first try for the Dragons. Brought down by Shorrocks. Here is Garcia. Little slip pass again, right on that try line. It was Tariq Sims, the same combination. Keary, a Spuro Bichet, but there's no way through. They go inside. Luke Keary, offload back to Keary. Kick towards the line by Luke Keary, just too much on that. And it was well watched by Connell. Charging in there was Leo Darrell Atorb, playing only his second game for the Catalan Dragons. Scored on his debut in their win over Huddersfield a week ago. 16-0, Salford still giving it a real go, but you have to say the golfing class is there for all to see.
Obviously you can see it, and if it becomes a grind and a completion game, you feel like Salford don't have enough to compete with Catalan Dragons. So at this early stage, 25-26 minutes on the clock, it's the unorthodox that they're going to have to try. Not reckless, mindless offloads, but good carries, quick play the ball off the back of that, see what's there for you.
Sangare, quick play the ball. Here's Mellor now, looking to try and get something going for Salford. Has to take the tackle. Does take the tackle. As Julian Bousquet. 2 tackles left in the set. It was Wilson, and it goes back for Kai Morgan. Morgan. The young fullback took it really well. He was protected by Makinson.
That's okay. They've got to the kick. They've completed again. They're going to try and defend. The next time and the next opportunity they get with the ball, I'd be expecting Nicarima and Morgan and Ryan Brierley to be talking to everybody.
Big hit there on Aspuro Bichet by Nicarima. Here is Fage now and Tariq Sims.
Four. Move, Joe. Hold. Go four.
Fage.
Bang, bang, move.
Last one, another good defensive set. They're growing into the
they
game.
give 6 away again.
Yeah, on the last, it was Ben Helliwell, was it? On the very last tackle. You cannot afford to do that. Haven't got yourselves in a good position. We were just saying, another really good defensive set and a stupid decision, you have to say, from Helliwell. So here come Catalan again, 16-0 in front with 12 minutes to half-time.
It just doesn't help, does it? It doesn't help if Marcus Griffiths is being so mean, Stewart.
Lost into the player.
Good work.
Forced it. Knock on by Laguerre.
Forced a mistake, Ben Helliwell.
Yeah, Vaughan it was. Good tackle.
Where?
Yeah.
Johnny Vaughan goes down, hits around the ball, forces the mistake.
No, it's got to cut this side.
Big day there, you see him, he's a big man, isn't he?
Shot clock off.
The replacement forward, Justin Sangare, 77 games for Toulouse.
Yeah, don't worry, it's blood. We've got to stop
The
it.
rivals of the Catalan Dragons, the French international. When he's got the ball, when he's on, he's as good as anybody in the division. But it's getting him in the right mind and getting that game off him.
Maybe young Makin in back play, just receiving a little bit of treatment.
We're just on his blood, so what's that?
Not a bad thing for Salford here. Get round, have a little chat, have a word with your colleagues and your peers, and that communication has to come from those important decision makers. Brierley, Nicarima, Morgan.
Yeah, Wilson going into hooker. Joe Mellor, one of the veterans of the side, of course.
Yeah.
300 career appearances for him today, Joe Mellor. That's a heck of a career.
And he can play in the halves. He's got a good brain. He's got good acceleration.
And there he is at the back of the scrum. And here is Nicarima.
Ooh, that was a heavy shot.
It was. Jaden Nicarima will know all about that, having had half a year with the Catalan Dragons.
Well, I said, didn't I, that Salford will take the opportunity to communicate. Looks like Catalan have done the same, and it looks like the forwards are challenging each other to increase and improve the contact.
Mellor involved once more. Here is Brierley looking for a way through. Can't afford to give Ryan Brierley too much space. Gets
repeat possession.
Set. He does.
Here's your chance, Salford.
That was experience there from Brierley, wasn't it? Knew exactly what he's doing and won the set restart. Here is Sangare now. Is this a chance? Salford in Super League has scored just 7 tries all season. 7 tries. They'd love one here.
Move, Ben! Hold. Go, 3.
10 minutes to half-time. Navarrete is on for the Catalan Dragons. Morgan with nowhere to go. Good defence. First time they've really been forced to defend their own line here. And nowhere for Sangare to go either. Here is Mellor. Last one. Brierley it is. A little kick through towards the line.
Oh, it's a good one.
It is. It was well watched, I think, by Luke Keary in the end. He just taps the ball down, so it'll be a goal line dropout and a repeat set for Salford.
Well, that's better from Brierley. They got a 6 again, and at this point they're going to get a goal line dropout and have a real examination of Catalan Dragons try line. And if I get excited, Stuart, cards on the table now. I'm always shouting for the underdog. It's built in me.
Well, let's see what they can do. As I say, just 7 tries all year in Super League, and they've been nilled 4 times. Can they get points on the board? Making with the charge.
Wait. Go, good one.
9 minutes to half-time. Morgan drops it off for Sangare.
Luke onside. wide. Go 2.
Mellor. Smart play by Mellor.
3. Move back with me to Perdia. Hold. Not early. Wait.
Shorrocks it was who was brought down. Wilson now. Little short pass again for Sangare. Seeing a lot of the ball since he came on. It was Theo Farge who made the tackle. Mellor looking for a way through, and Farge again with a brilliant tackle. Last one. What can they come up with? Briley, they go to the right-hand side. Kick through again towards the line. Picked up by the young winger, Darrell Latour. And he does really, really well to get out from behind his own try line. Brought down by Eason Masters. That was good stuff from young Darrell Latour. And Fuad Yaha.
Oh, that's great stuff from Salford. You can see they're not quite over that back line, but what they're doing is they're really piling the pressure. It's coming up for 16 minutes now since the Catalan Dragons have scored their last try, so they're in the fight and they're showing some resilience.
That's all that Paul Rowley would ask for. That's a poor pass behind Makinson. Has to scramble back and pick it up. Gets out of the tackle of Vaughan. That familiar running style for Tommy Makinson. How many times have we seen him break through a defensive line and score from distance? This is a great defensive set again, and it's Yaha on the last who has to get the kick away, and Briley will start proceedings once again for Salford. 16-0 they're trailing, 7 minutes to half-time.
Well, they're starting to get some little wins now, the Salford side. 12 metres Catalan Dragons made with ball in hand there. Defensive intensity.
Go 2, yeah, just keep an eye on him.
They're going to have to keep it up. They don't necessarily need to score on the next possession, but keep getting little small wins, little small results from ball in hand.
Morgan. Nicarima brought down. Still a couple left in this set for Salford. Masters it is, finds Morgan. Making, again looking for a way through, but there isn't one. Last tackle, Mellor, they'll go the short side. Then the dummy from Mellor. Great play from Mellor. Chip and chase from Joe Mellor. Well, that would have been some way to mark the 300th game of your career. Catalan will get it back with a restart, but he gave it a go.
He's so important, isn't he? He's the man that makes the decision around the base of the ruck. Who's going to get the ball when it comes time to the distribution part of his role, but also he's got that creativity. We've seen some of the efforts. Pangai Jr. stripped the ball when they got the possession maybe about 5 or 6 minutes ago. He's doing his best. You're right, 300 career, 200 games at Super League level, so vastly experienced and been in this position. I dare say I've been in this position a few times, but what's happening at Salford, I don't think he's been there and had to deal with all that uncertainty. He was at Toronto, weren't he? So he can talk to the players about his experience from that part and that phase of his career. 6 again.
Yeah, another mistake. First time that we've seen Catalan there. Close again on the Salford line for a good 10 minutes. Here is the ever reliable Ulrich da Costa. 5 minutes to half-time at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Satai now.
3. Move and square. Hold. Go 3. It's done me.
And there's room on that far side. Partington trying to find a way through. Can't fault the effort. Monumental effort from Salford in this first half. Carrying the ball is back for Roman Navarrete.
Release, go 5.
Da Costa, and that was Sims again, looking for another try.
It's another small win, Stuart, that's what it is. He gets up quick, Nicarima, doesn't allow the big back row the same momentum that he got when he scored that try.
Great tackle.
It's a copybook tackle. They need to find some energy. Last 4 minutes before they go into the dressing room. Find some energy. If they can just get points on the board. As you quite rightly said, nilled 4 times in Super League.
Move on side, boys. Hold. Go
What a boost it would be to go in with points on the board.
Yeah, that was Hill. This is Sangare.
4. Move, Chris, Luke. Hold. Go 4.
16-0 down in 16 minutes, but this has been much better. Masters on the far
should have
side.
gone.
Should have gone. Should have gone.
That ball should have gone. He was in the clear.
The late
Nathan
hit,
Connell.
yeah,
They're going to get something out of it.
Penalty.
They're going to get something out of there. Ollie Partington just can't resist. He gets to the ball carrier, Nicarima, and it's a fraction of a second too late. But I'm adamant, if that ball goes, if that pass is made to Nathan Connell, he's away.
It was Partington on Shorrocks, the late hit, so a penalty here for Salford, and maybe an opportunity late in the half to get some points on the board. We've lost Matty Foster.
In between, boys. Come on, come on, come on.
Head injury assessment
You were stopping for me, weren't you?
early on. So all the substitutes being used early on. Shorrock, Sangare, Hill and Makin.
Move all the way. Up the side, all the way, Chrissy. Hold. Go long.
Here is Sangare.
2. Move, remain. Hold.
Are the points
Go 2.
in the Salford Red Devils. Mellor again from acting halfback.
Move, Chris. He had to complete the tackle, the arms up.
Tackle by Navarrete.
Go 3.
Hill. Sangare again. Looking for the offload.
Play on.
But the ball goes backwards. There's an overlap here. Vaughan looking to find a way. He had Fewlis outside him. Had to halt his run. Cut back inside. They're knocking on the door here. Mellor now. Briley involved.
Keep going.
Last tackle.
Line.
Last opportunity maybe of the first half. Masters plays the ball quickly. Not the best of passes there from Shorrocks, and Briley has to change tack, kick towards the corner. And that was really well taken by Tommy Makinson. So all the pressure and all the ball that Salford have had in the last 10 or 15 minutes, unable to put points on the board. 16-0 last minute of the first half.
Well, they're asking questions, aren't they? Although that was a bit of a sloppy kick, the challenge up makes it a contest. Justin Sangare, I talked about him before, he loves an offload. Joe Mellor would do well to follow him. Ryan Briley would do well to follow him. As I've said, big man, big powerful man, 6'3", 6'4", probably 115 kilograms, not a scrap of fat on him, but he has an offload.
Charge down. I think Salford may have got it back, had they? Hellingwell as far as managed to grab hold of the ball. Well, Hellingwell thought he had it, and he has got it. So Salford have got a minute. Charge down. Hellingwell on Farge's kick. Sense of urgency now. Briley. We'll have to pick the ball up on the bounce. The offload. Partington it was. Shoved out the way by Mellor. Play on, says the referee. Sangare and Makin. Nicarima now. Oh! Well, Fewlis was waiting. If the pass had been decent from Nicarima, it would have been a try on debut for Jake Fewlis.
And that is the frustrating part of Jaden Nicarima. He's passing that ball like he's passing a basketball.
Markers in.
Defenders were committed. And sometimes it's easy to take the simple option, the basic option, and it's almost too easy for those skillful players like Jaden Nicarima.
So there we go, the half-time hooter. Catalans have the lead by 16 points to 0. It looked like it was going to be a lot worse for Salford, but they have given it absolutely everything, and they've dominated, you have to say, the second half of the first half. But those 3 tries from Makinson, Sims and Bousquet, the difference in the scoreline, and Catalans deservedly lead at half-time. But Salford have an opportunity. They've given themselves a platform to maybe come back in the second half. But at half-time at the stand, Gilbert Brutus, Catalan lead by 16 points to 0. Half-time at the stand, Gilbert Brutus, the Catalan Dragons leading Salford by 16 points to 0. A lot of Super League action to come next week, and look at those two big games on Thursday and Friday. Warrington taking on Saints, both coming off the back of defeats that hurt over the Easter period, and then a resurgent Leeds against the leaders on KR. That's Friday night. We're on the air at 7:30 on both nights. Three games on Saturday. Huddersfield, can they get their first win of the season? Huge game at home to Castleford just before 3 o'clock on Sky Sports Plus. And then two games on Saturday evening. Salford back in action at home to Lee, and then Catalan at home again against Wakefield. Both those games kicking off at 5:30 and both on Sky Sports Plus. And then on Sunday, Hull FC against Wigan to round off the weekend's action just before 3 o'clock, again on Sky Sports Plus. Well, confirming what we've seen in the first 40 minutes at the stand, Gilbert Brutus, and I can tell you it's now 223 minutes since Salford's last Super League try, scored by Jaden Nikarima in the 57th minute of their round 5 win against Huddersfield, all the way back on March the 20th. The Catalan out of the traps, 3 tries in the first 16 minutes from Makinson, Sims and Bousquet. And Barry McDermott, the start has made all the difference.
Well, it was a blistering start from the home side. On the front foot virtually from the first whistle. Tommy Makinson opened the scoring for his side on just about 5 minutes. It was his career 224th try, but the first one for his side. A beautiful kick from Kiri. He judges the bounce, judges the dive, and you can see from the celebrations he's delighted with his first 4-pointer. And it looked easy at that point, didn't it? 5 minutes on the clock. Not had to work hard, and the Dragons players didn't have to do much. It was an accurate kick. Another basic, simple, relatively easy try to stop, followed from Tariq Sims. 11 minutes on the clock for that try. Yes, he breaks a couple of tackles, but it's not a defence-splitting pass. Luke Keary has gone to the defensive line, put a short pass in to the back row, running at pace. Jaden Nikarima doesn't put his body in front. He readdresses that a couple of minutes before half-time and chops the back rower virtually in half, Tariq Sims. And then this was the third of the first half tries, and probably the most disappointing one for Paul Rowley. And at that point, 16 minutes on the clock, it looked far too easy for the Catalan Dragons, but the Salford Red Devils players improved their effort, got some field position and started to ask some questions. And 16-0 it is at half-time. But the second quarter, at best, or at worst from a Salford perspective, was even.
Yeah, it was Julien Bousquet it was with that try. The question now is, can Salford turn any of that pressure and possession into points in the second half? Catalans dominating that possession You can see, as far as completed sets are concerned, they're ahead in all the stats, but Salford have given themselves just a glimmer.
For me, it's the meters that Catalan Dragons are making. I talked about the big men in the ranks. Pangai Junior, Bousquet. They brought Chris Sartai onto the field. Put Tariq Sims, the back rower, into that equation. You're just constantly going back, constantly backpedding, defending your own try line, and then, as we've seen with 06.16, they're not good enough on try line D.
16-0 Catalan lead at half-time. The second half is on the way. Welcome back to Saturday evening's Super League in the south of France. The Catalan Dragons leading Salford by 16 points to nil. Can Salford avoid a fifth whitewash of the Super League season? Can they score just their 8th try, or are Catalan going to make it 4 wins out of 5? That is the big question, and we're going to find out very, very soon. Tommy Makinson with his first try for the Catalan Dragons, Tariq Sims, and then it was Julien Bousquet. Salford gave it a really good go in the second half of that first half, and I'm sure there's plenty of encouragement from Paul Rowley when you consider that they've lost £600,000 worth of salary cap, with 5 players leaving over the last 4 weeks or so. We have a new record in Super League as far as the attendances are concerned. The crowd at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, 8,768, and that means that the record is officially broken. 86,080 fans have attended Rivals Round over this Easter weekend. It's the highest attendance ever of the 6-round Super League weekend, and also an average of 14,346 is the highest ever of the Super League era. All very encouraging, Barry McDermott.
Well, fantastic. Well done to everybody concerned. Players, clubs, officials, and especially the fans and spectators who've come to support their teams. Even those Red Devils fans who probably feared the worst after 16 minutes. But the following part of the game, although I'd probably like to see them a little bit more productive with possession and field position and ask more questions, at least they are playing at the right end of the field. At least they are managing to defend their own try line. And if the scoreboard stays as it is, you might feel a little bit of unrest in the camp, in those Catalan players, perhaps on the terraces as well, who would have expected to put up a big scoreline. Johnny Vaughan, one of the players. Jake Dewlis on debut after being sent on loan from Warrington Wolves.
Well, when you think about it though, Sneed has gone, Watkins has gone, Singleton, Laffey, McDonald, that is £600,000 worth of salary cap, and 5 big stars who've made a big impression for Salford over the last year or two. Of course, they're also missing, we should mention, the old warhorse, Chris Hill, who's got a hamstring injury, is going to be out for a few weeks, and in this situation, he would make a huge difference. So let's see what Salford can produce in the second half. 16-0, Catalan in control. Will that be the case in 40 minutes' time? They came back well in the Challenge Cup. They looked down and out for a while, a fortnight ago in the quarter-finals in Perpignan, but only just edged out by 20 points to 12. So let's see what they can do. Vaughan brought down. Here is Mellor and Kai Morgan. But Satai in there with the tackle, along with Bailey Sirinen for the Dragons. I'm just wondering, when you think of what Paul Rowley has to work with, knowing Rowley, just say, go and have some fun. And the one-handed pass from Ethan Masters there, looking for Nathan Connell. It could well have been away again, and you could see the frustration on the face of Masters. That was a great chance.
Well, he's looking up to the sky, Ethan Masters. It's not his fault. That pass was a difficult one at best, but just
he's not intentionally hit the ball.
To try and answer the question you asked about Paul Rowley, go out there and express yourself. I dare say he would have done. They've nothing to lose. They're behind on the scoreboard. But better decisions, more quality. And don't squander possession and fritter it away. We saw they had the ball virtually 5 metres off their own line, and they're looking to pass and run the way out of trouble, which has always served Paul Rowley teams very well.
That was a chance, without a shadow of a doubt. That was an opportunity. Yeah, I just think he will have said, go and enjoy yourself, go and have some fun.
But what he won't do is say, throw the ball on the floor. That's what he won't do.
That's what you used to do.
Aye, Stuart.
Go free.
That was mainly in anger.
Can't pull it back now. You can't pull it back. You've insulted me. That's it. We're finished.
Again.
Release Jada!
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, they have to cut out the errors, Barry. But at the moment, it's Catalan with Da Costa and
not square. 1.
Yaha.
6 again.
Yeah, not square, says the referee. You can hear Marcus Griffiths. Yaha playing in the centre, a late call up. Remus Smith pulling out injured in the warm-up, and they're threatening again, as they did. They came out of the traps at the start of the game. Da Costa down, Satai. It's an absolute strolling for Chris Satai, who celebrates his 150th career appearance with a try. It took them 5 minutes to score in the first half. It's taken them 3 minutes to score in the second. Satai with Catalans' 4th try.
If the coach allows the players to play, force the issue, try and play with an ignorance of the scoreboard, then they have to back that up with good defence. I think every single try that's been scored, barring the one from Tommy Makinson, has been from close range, and for me, should have been dealt with. Chris Satai, too big, too strong, that close to the try line.
Yeah, big try for the big man, and you feel that's game over now. It just goes to show
but the players can't think it's game over, Stuart. It's 43 minutes on the clock.
But it just shows what a difference 30 seconds made. You know, that pass from Masters, and Connell, if he'd caught it, who knows, may have scored for Salford. And within a minute, Chris Satai has scored for the Catalan Dragons. And Guillermo Aspuro Bichet adds the extras, 22 points to 0. You also got to wonder, I guess, there's some big games coming up. Magic weekend and a Challenge Cup semi-final against Hull KR. Will it reach the stage where Steve McNamara is going to be looking at some of his players and wondering if it's worth just resting them for some periods during the second half? Still a long way to go. 22-0 Catalan lead.
It may well be in the final quarter if he decides to make those decisions, although I fear that Steve McNamara, I can't quite remember the year, but when he was the Bradford coach, took a boatload of players off, and Wigan came back and beat them. Forget the year now. I have 2003 in my mind, but I might be wrong. But you can't afford to take any team you're playing against for granted.
Really good memory, that. It was, I think at the time, it was a record comeback, wasn't it, in Super League? I'm sure Ian Proctor, our Sky Sports stats guru, will be straight on with that information. Penalty given away by Nicarima on Mavaret. This is what happened in the first half. They scored a try, didn't they? And then from the restart, Salford gave away a penalty and Caroline got another one.
As we said, it took them 16 minutes to find some purchase in the game. And Stuart, I played for some incredible teams, some really successful ones, but I played for some teams that struggled as well. So in situations like this, you've got to just go back to those fundamentals. You can't afford to give possession away, and if you do, you have to back that up with good defence. Otherwise, you find yourself under the sticks watching somebody convert a try.
Well, here you are, then what is the mindset? What's the mindset of the Salford players?
It has to be that. You can't just throw the ball around like it doesn't matter. You can't just look at the scoreboard and say there's 43 minutes, but we're 22-0 down, so that's it, game over. There's always a chance, even if it's 1,000,000 to 1. You've got to think there's still a chance.
Farr's brought down again in that danger zone. Da Costa and Partington would love to score against his former employers, I'm sure. Always makes a difference to Costa. And again, from short range, it looks like Roman Navarrete thinks he may well have got the ball down, or is it brilliant defence from Ryan Briley? Briley's adamant he stopped Navarrete. The referee, Marcus Griffiths, saying no try on the field. The video ref, Aaron Moore, will make the ultimate call.
Call him no try, Marcus.
No try, yeah.
So tackle 5, and we have an on-field decision of no try. We're looking if the ball gets to the ground or not. So look at our best available angles on this.
Yeah, it'll be a handover. Yeah.
Play it through, please.
Great tackle. Make it, great tackle. Ah, it's no try, no way. Is it just turnover?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Navarrete was short.
It was way short, wasn't it?
No try. So Roman Navarete's in possession of the ball here. Still in possession of the ball. And he's short of the line there.
Yeah.
Short of the line. And he's held up. Thank you. I've seen all I need.
Tackle 5, fixed handover.
I'll tell you what, there's the effort. There's the effort, isn't it? Ryan Briley, even in what looks like being a lost cause, there's the effort you wanted. Great try saver.
And it's effort on effort on effort for the remainder of this game. And that's what he's got to do, and that's what the rest of the team
You were right.
have to do individually and collectively.
So the decision is confirmed.
No try.
No try.
Handover just short of the line here.
They're going to get the ball back, or they're going to get the ball near their own line, Salford.
Will you get on
It's a long way downfield, isn't it?
Play it.
But they've got to get the error-free.
Focus, next shot.
This is what they do, Salford. They try and pass through it. They try and go round. The normal formula is go through before you start to think about going round. Well, it's often the other way around for poor all these teams. And just for those thinking about that game between Bradford and Wigan in the playoffs, it finished 31-30 to Wigan, and it was in 2007. The Bulls were leading 30 points to 6 when Steve McNamara brought a load of his experienced players off. Thank you, Ian Proctor. I was almost right. Story of my life, that, Stu.
You were close. You were close.
That's you, Joss.
22 points to 0. Catalan in front.
5.
And still the Salford fans singing and shouting and enjoying themselves. Vaughan, well, it was Mellor who got the ball. It skewed off the side of his boot. So this is really good field position now. It was Yaha who caught the ball just shy of halfway.
2. Move now.
May well be Spuren. Bichet was the young fullback giving his forwards a little bit of a rest.
1.
Making some that familiar run from dummy half. Da Costa once more. Chris Satai, the try scorer for Catalan in the second period.
Hold it early, Ben. Go 2.
Spuren, Bichet once more.
Move, Harvey! Hold. Go 3.
There's a Salford man down as well in back play. Isn't going to help that cause as Satai is brought down right in front of the post. Da Costa finds Kieran Sims with the offload for Farge.
Brilliant work.
Yeah, it was great defence. He tried to get the ball back behind his back to Darrell Ator, but again Salford holding firm, and you know they may be on their way to losing this game, but effort-wise,
Well, it's good commitment, isn't it? Even though they were a player down,
Middle. Shot clock.
just
time off, please.
receiving treatment in back play. I think it's Ormonroyd who ends up staying on the floor as he goes
Natural
low on the
stoppage, so he's
tackle.
not anything more.
But as they attack
Play the ball.
the left edge,
Can you just
here's
stop pushing
Jack
forward?
Ormonroyd.
Play on the
They
mark.
need him
Play on
fit
the mark.
and able-bodied. But in desperation, throwing bodies around Theo Fage. And the Catalan Dragons end up surrendering possession.
Red line, yeah. I'll go here, stay on side here.
As it stands, Catalan are going up to 7th in the Super League table above Wakefield and Warrington.
One. Move! Hold.
Salford will stay just 1 above the bottom. Their only win coming against Huddersfield.
Two.
They're a rock bottom, of course. The Giants still to win.
Okay. 3.
Hill at dummy half, and it looks very much like Melrose being used as a half-back here for Salford in this second half, just looking for a way through.
Hold. Go 4.
Good little run from George Hill from dummy half.
On the 4.
On loan from Castleford for a month. Mellor finds Briley, looking to find some distance with the kick. As well read and easily taken by Aspuro Bichet.
Move, Harvey!
10 minutes gone in the second half. 22-0 Catalan leading.
2. Move, Jack. Back with me and hold. Wait, hold it. Go 2.
Barge.
3. Move and square.
Yeah, but can't fault the effort. I was watching Leeds against Huddersfield on Good Friday. The Giants, decimated by injuries, put a real shift in, gave it absolutely everything, and then just ran out of steam. The petrol tank was empty in the second half. Navarrete saying that he got a blow on the chin. Kiri.
He's one of those players, nearly Romain Navarrete. He's playing 3 weeks after fracturing his cheekbone, but I think comes up with stuff like that, Mitch. Yeah, he's better than that. He's tougher than that.
Kiri with the kick. Connell takes it well. Young Nathan Connell.
Move and square, Alex.
Another of the youngsters, just 22 years of age. Here's another of the loanees, just 19 years of age. Jake
Good work from Jake Thulis. Picked up a cut on his forehead, I think, judging by the bandage. But busted, you've got to turn up for your teammates.
Go 3.
Vaughan eventually plays the ball.
False start on the 10.
Mellor in the line. Masters now.
4. Move, Luke. Hold the 10.
I say the defence from
Wait.
for the Dragons is holding firm as well, isn't it, in this second half? Mellor, and they're shifted out to that left-hand side. Briley. Vaughan now, and here is Thulis with yards in front of them with a bit of space, and Makinson, the old experienced voice of Tommy Makinson, held firm, brought Thulis down. This is the last one. It's Shorrocks.
And it's a decent kick. It's a decent kick, and that's an example of them going against convention. Salford looked like they were going backwards. They managed to find some space on the edge, and then a decent break from Jake Thulis on his debut meant that they kicked the ball, and Catalan Dragons pick it up maybe a metre or 2 away from their own try line.
Release. Go 3.
Also worth mentioning, we talked about all the players that left and the injuries that they've got. Chris Atkin, Dion Cross not playing. Looked like they're trying to force moves, and forcing a move here is Luke Keary for the Catalan Dragons. Can he go round Briley? Keary now looking for space. Briley shadowed him brilliantly. Play on. Keary was looking for a penalty. Here's Fage, and outside to Sims. The ball is tapped backwards. A real mess there. The ball goes to ground.
6 again.
But they should have scored.
6 again. I think Salford touched it.
Short 1.
They are defending heroically.
Go 1.
Aspuro Bichet, it was a dummy half, and Fage once more. Navarrete looking to offload. Right in front of the post.
Go
the pressure. That defensive door is creaking. Well, there was nearly an intercept, wasn't it, from Nicarima. Read it well, but the Dragons are going to get it back once more.
Well, it was a beautiful set-piece play that put Luke Keary in space, and then fullback Ryan Brierley did enough. Cover came across, they dealt with the threat, and then on 2 separate occasions they got their hands to the ball, and this will frustrate the Catalan Dragons. It's what happens when you're the team that's in front on the scoreboard. Here's that break from Keary, and they'd be expecting to convert breaks like this, and the more times they don't convert it, the more times they don't come away with points, the more they will force the issue, as much as Salford are.
This game back on.
No point getting in until he's off.
Yeah, I must say, just to reiterate, Chris Atkin and Dion Cross look like they're the next two who are going to be leaving the club. Castleton interesting in Atkin, and of course Dion Cross looking like he's going to be heading back to St Helens. More money off the salary cap. But the effort here has been fantastic. But it could be about to concede again, straight from the scrum, and that is a superb try. Is it Makinson? It may well be Tommy Makinson, straight from the scrum, but he's got another try. They're going to check in. But I'll tell you what, if Makinson gets a try, he goes past 1,500 career points. Brilliantly worked off the scrum, a weaving run round the back of the Salford defence, a little dummy, but the video ref will call it.
So it's 0 tackle, and we have an on-field decision. We'll try. We'll just go slow this on grounding, please. That's all we need to look at here. Just to confirm, Tommy Makinson remains in possession of the ball. We can go slow, please. This will be the best angle. Let's go slow here, please. Really slow. So Makinson's going towards the line. It's in possession of the ball there, in possession of the ball. We have another angle on that, please. Really slow again, please. Really slow again. He's still in possession of the ball here, still in possession of the ball, still in possession of the ball. And the ball looks to be grounded. Have we any other angles to show us anything more? Could we go back to the other angle then, please? Could we go back to the other angle then, please? So Makinson's in possession of the ball. He's always got it in his right arm. And the ball is grounded. I've seen all I need.
Thanks, Tom.
Well, there we go. Until tonight, Tommy Makinson hadn't scored a try for the Catalan Dragons. And now he's got two. Lovely set play off the training ground from the scrum. And that try takes the prolific Tommy Makinson past 1,500 career points. And it was a really well-worked try.
Like
really
London buses out there for Tommy Makinson. Gets over in the corner, he did his level best, Johnny Vaughan, who of course is on loan from St Helens, playing against a player who I dare say he has watched many, many times in the colours of St Helens.
Yeah.
Well, that try, by the way, Tommy Makinson is 7th on the Super League all-time try-scoring chart. Now 193, just 3 behind Jermaine McGillivray. You would think he's going to improve that during the season. But 26 points and in it is, 15 minutes gone in the second half. And it's Bureau Bichet off the touchline. The try had been coming. And the conversion comes again, a brilliant kick off the touchline by Bureau Bichet. 2 more points, 28-0. And Catalan now running away with this.
That's a beauty of a conversion. He's having a growing influence on this game. Bureau Bichet, really early on in his career, but there's enough good signs to trust he's going to be formidable in the future.
But Sam Tompkins believes he's going to be an absolute superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the heir apparent, isn't he? That's another reason why
Morgan Escaray went, yes.
And Arthur Morg. You know, they've had any problems letting Arthur Morg going to Hull KR. So Escaray, yeah, he went. Morg has gone, and they're certainly planning for the future. Is that the commentator's curse? It may well be. Yeah. We've just been praising Espuro Bichet.
I have a bone to pick with you with this commentator's curse, Pikey. They can't hear you. It isn't your fault, you see. Big man on the back line there. Yeah. He should have called. He should have overcalled that.
Absolutely.
Busquets, the man running forward onto it, should have overcalled it. So I'm not blaming the fullback.
It's a good point you make.
And if he was listening, and if he could hear you, he wouldn't care.
No. And he probably wouldn't agree with me either. Here is Mellor. Can they get the North off the scoreboard? Ryan Briley here. Going to have to take the tackle, otherwise it would have been obstruction running behind his teammate. Over 4 hours of playing time since they last scored a try in Super League. George Hill at dummy half and Nicarima involved.
Ryan Briley going from one side to the other. He's the indicator. That's where the ball is going, wherever Ryan Briley is.
That's where he was. Mellor now and Easton Masters. Can he find a way through?
You talked about Fuad Yaha in the first couple of minutes. If I'm a Salford player, I'm getting the ball to Easton Masters one-on-one with Fuad Yaha.
Yaha so far winning the battle. Well, that's a mistake and then well remedied, wasn't it? And well rescued by the Costa behind the post. Fumbled the kick through from Nicarima. And then did really well. Was very aware of the situation. Briley was closing in. A goal line dropout. We're not far short of an hour gone in Perpignan. And Catalan leading by 28 points to 0.
The kick wasn't necessarily the best part of that play. The kick was a fairly average kick, but it was the chase. It was the blue shirts in the frame that forced Ulrich de Costa to boot the ball over the sideline. Short dropout.
Yeah, it was making to try the short dropout, and it works. Well, kind of just sums up the day, doesn't it? Picked up by Luke Keary.
You've surrendered, go back onto the red line.
I have to say, go back to the spot, Luke Keary. He's still going to have a day to celebrate. He's still arguing, Luke Keary, with the referee. He's had a big influence on this game, the Aussie halfback. Career game number 250. Ben Garcia back on the field for Catalan. 13 seasons with the Dragons. What a servant he's been. Busquets one better, 14 years. Well, contact after he'd been held, Busquets. I think it may well have been Partington. Orban Royd who was penalised. Busquets again charging through.
Tackle technique is so important, but under fatigue, everything goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tackle technique, when I talk about that, I'll talk about getting players to ground, buying a few vital, crucial seconds for your defensive line to get back.
Here's Garcia. Tries to spin out of the tackle from Hill. De Costa and Farge. The space on the far side, and it could well be another try, and it is Laguerre who stretches over and scores. Matteo Laguerre making some outside him, who was praying for the ball to score a hat-trick, but no one was going to stop Matteo Laguerre from there, and no one is going to stop the Catalan Dragons from notching up a convincing win. Approaching the hour mark, it's 32-0.
Yeah, 6 again. After all that effort in defence, Salford forced to defend another set. They're up quick, they're on the heels, and it was a nice early pass from the replacement forward, Paul Seguier. Doesn't he do well to finish that? Breaks a few tackles, and Tommy Makinson on his outside. I don't think he's being greedy by calling for that ball. It was a simpler option but he'll be delighted for the young centre. Burst onto the scene a couple of years ago in that blockbusting game against Leeds Rhinos back in COVID times, in lockdown when we were playing games with no crowd. He's well established in the team now, Matty Ulliger.
Spiro Bichet. Try and add another two, but all the noise you can hear in the background is from those Salford fans behind those posts. Away to our left. Legare more than happy. Seguier with the pass, Legare with the try. Two very important French components in this Catalan class. And no, on this occasion, pulls it across the face of the post, so 32-0 it stays with 19 minutes to go.
It was a classy finish. A nice interplay between back rower and centre. It's funny, isn't it, Stuart? We're picking it up on the mics. The noise is coming from the Salford fans. There's a little bit of, I don't know, ambivalence in the crowd there. They seem a little bit pensive. 32-0 the scoreline, but it's the dissatisfaction is the fans, the home fans.
Zach on the right, just having a word with the referee, Marcus Griffiths. Can Salford avoid the ignominy of a third successive visit in Super League to Perpignan without scoring. They lost 20 points in it last year. 2 years ago they were beaten 42-0. And here it is, 32-0 in favour of the Catalan Dragons. By the way, when they beat Huddersfield last week, the 38 points they scored in that victory was the most that they've scored for over a year.
Yeah.
Can they go better here?
I know we talk about the debate of both of these two sides. We talk about tradition and question marks about who deserves to be there. I think he's got the ball there, Nicarima.
Stolen it.
And very much in the camp of Catalan Dragons, add value to the Super League. I think we should support them all we can. And I don't buy into the away fans. I don't buy into the what did he contribute, what did he bring. They bring this. They bring an away day for fans that they can't get anywhere else.
I have to absolutely concur. All the noise at the moment, all the noise that we've heard from some quarters in the game about question marks.
It's madness. And I still can't believe that we expect Catalan Dragons to stump the bill up for travel and accommodation and stuff like that. And I know there are bean counters that will say, well, when Catalan come to us, we don't get the money, we may even lose money. But without knowing the specifics, I'd say work a bit harder.
It's an absolute nonsense. Catalan deserve to be and will be in Super League for a long, long time, and that was no doubt. They've reached 2 grand finals in the last 3 years, for goodness sake.
And the Challenge Cup winning. Let's not build our business plan on away fans coming to buy a pie, a pint and a programme. Anyway. It's good defence, isn't it?
Tackle never stops, it's always going into touch. Middle.
Yeah, pushed it to touch. It may well have been Shorrocks, it was. Have nowhere to go.
There's a little bit of this creeping into the game as well. Picking players up. I've talked about defensive technique now. A lot of teams hold players up. They'll push them back, but if they're anywhere near the sideline, I'm okay with defenders pushing their opposition into defence. But somehow we've lost the you can't pull. And there are as many players pulling as there are pushing.
It's all about physics, you know.
I failed that one at school as well, Stu.
Yeah, me too. By a long, long way. 32 points to go.
You know this, Stu. I only passed RE and PE. I would have been a priest or a sportsman.
But didn't do any favours, did it? It worked out all right in the end. Busquets, is it going to work out again for the Catalan Dragons? Fars is the space on the far side. Offload goes to Makinson. Can he pick it up? No! Well, a 14th career hat-trick was there for the taking, you felt, for Tommy Makinson.
And on that occasion, he's turned round and give his teammates a mouthful, because that was an opportunity squandered. The fullback takes it to the line. The unselfish play would have been draw the defender, pass it on to Laguerre, who would have allowed Tommy Makinson to stroll in for his third try of the game.
One thing worth mentioning, and I'm sure we'll check it out after the match, is, which could be a blow for Steve McNamara, is that the absence of Tavita Pangai Jr., who picked up an injury in the first half and obviously not well enough to come back onto the field.
He's such a hard man to handle, isn't he? And he's a little bit in the mould of Herman SAS here. You have to commit defenders. Sometimes it's 2, 3, 4 defenders, still can't get him to ground, and then there's a space somewhere.
How would a Barry McDermott have handled Tavita Pangai Jr.?
It's the same way he would have handled Herman SAS here, just below the nostrils.
Some things never change. Penalty.
I'm not talking now. I'm talking back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep working, man.
Salford get the penalty. The crowd continue to sing and support. Who knows what the future is going to hold for the Salford Red Devils. It's a big week coming up because it's payday week as well, and we know that the players and the staff have been paid late for the last 2 months. All the off-the-field matters certainly affecting what's happening on the field. They've got 30 minutes to try and get a consolation score. Mella, that's a good pass. That's a brilliant run.
Go on, Taki Cham.
Superb from Jackie Cham. The Frenchman against the Catalan Dragons. Furious. Ball goes inside and Vaughan will score. Brilliant try from Salford. Cham with the bursting run, and they're celebrating that it's a try that's won the game. But that was superb stuff from the Catalan Dragons.
Look at that celebration. You'd think they were in front on the scoreboard, those Salford fans who've travelled over to support their team. A barnstorming run. He just palms Theo Farge out of the way, sums it up expertly. Nice hands, and what an unselfish play from Jake Thulis. Knows he won't make it himself. Get out of the way, he says. Nice pass, nice offload. And watch what he does here, Jake Thulis. Knows he's not going to get there. Feeds it back inside to Johnny Vaughan. The 2 lone players combine to get the first 4 points and get rid of that 0.
Yeah, absolutely. Only the 8th try that they scored in Super League all season. But yeah, that 0, the 3rd consecutive defeat to 0 in the south of France, and what would have been a 5th Super League game without scoring a point. But all that's gone now, and for all the effort that they've put in, you have to say that they thoroughly deserve that. Of course, it's all going to be in defeat. It's going to be another disappointing day as far as the result is concerned. As we've said right from the outset, cannot fault the effort. Briley off the touchline. Just a reminder as well, like talking about Ryan Briley, if you haven't seen the Bench podcast this week, it's well worth a look. Ryan Briley misses the conversion, but he was very candid in his chat with John and Jenna about the situation at Salford and pledging his loyalty to the cause. Well, those fans are loyal. They've had a try to celebrate. There's 10 minutes to go. It's 32 points to 4.
It means something to these players, and it means something to Ryan Briley. I first met him when he was on the fringes of the Castleford Tigers team, and his desire and ambition and dream was to always play for the Salford side. And he's here now in the toughest of circumstances. In the end, that 290-minute drought now, the Salford Red Devils.
Nearly 5 hours without a Super League try.
Away, away, away!
32 points to 4 it is. And here is Jackie Chan. I think even his dad, the general manager...
He may well give it a little fist bump under the table.
Absolutely. Why not? Brilliant run by the young man. Furious it was whose pass inside created the try.
I think we've missed a loan play. I think Tiaki Chan's on loan from Wigan as well, so we may well have had 5 loan players. His parent club will have enjoyed that break.
Hill at dummy half. That's a good little kick over the top. Bella was trying to chase it.
Move, Harvey! Hold. Go on.
Well, Salford have been doing it tough, haven't they? Catalans will look at these fixtures and think that their season could well be decided in the next 4 or 5 weeks. Wakefield at home next Saturday, then a trip to Leigh, then that Challenge Cup semi-final, Saints away, Wigan at home, and I think by the end of round 12, they kind of know where they're heading.
That's a big couple of weeks for the Dragons, isn't it? Wakefield are no easy beats, and Leigh coming off the back of that impressive win this afternoon against Warrington. That's the toughest of visits.
Last one. De Costa for 5. Now, is there an opportunity maybe for Makinson on that far side? Well, there won't be. Laguerre is all wrapped up. Catalan will settle for that where Salford are getting the ball with just 8 minutes to go. 32 points to 4. And we'll just ask Barry to start considering his options for the Betfred player of the match and let him have a little think. Well, Salford's run, some winnable games they will feel there. Leigh at home, tough one at Hull KR, then Cass away. 3 away games, Hull KR, Cass and Wakefield, and then Wigan at home. But it really is a week-to-week existence.
I was just going to say the same thing. Nothing matters on that list other than round 9 Leigh at home.
Absolutely.
And getting 17 players.
Go 3.
And they'll hope getting paid as well next week. That's a mistake by Mellor. He's put in a big stint, hasn't he, Joe Mellor, on his 300th career appearance. Just a little tired, that effort. Espuro Bichet. Oh, does well, the young man. Can he go all the way? That would be a brilliant try. Jinking one way, then the other. Guillermo Espuro Bichet, but the tackle came in from Masters with a bit of help from Mellor. No way through for Fuad Yaha, but the right on that try line once again. Espuro Bichet gets the ball off the floor. And space now for Theo Farge. Inside it goes. De Costa there, charging into Chan, and Chan standing up to the challenge. Jackie Chan has made a big difference, hasn't he, since he's come back onto the field. Farge again. Ball goes out to Makinson on the bounce, forced to go backward. Little chip over from Makinson. Makinson, oh, he was nearly through. He was nearly through, looking at to knock on anyway, but he was playing on, wasn't he? And Joe Shorrocks coming to the rescue. Little right smile from Tommy Makinson. The hat-trick just won't come.
It almost bounced up for him, didn't it? Nice little chip and chase. Beat the first player.
Nice game, boys.
Alrix De Costa got some heavy contact from Tiaki Chan in that set of 6, but it was Tiaki Chan who tried to collect the ball. Eventually, Joe Shorrocks bravely got down, but a knock-on, more possession for Catalan Dragons, and you fear a try.
Yeah, it's looking like, isn't it?
Hold. 6 again.
6 again. Easton Masters just lying on in the tackle for far too long. Is it going to be a final flourish? It looks like a knock-on. When it was taken, it was stolen in the tackle. The referee was just waiting to see what happened, playing on. He was just looking round there, Marcus Griffiths, at Ryan Briley, to see if he was going to launch a captain challenge, and Briley just shook his head and said, no, it doesn't matter. And it was a ball steal as well. So The penalty gives the opportunity for the Dragons once more. Farge. Good tackle by Halliwell. Satai. Trying to run through the lot once more. Couldn't just stretch over. Da Costa back for Farge. Farge can't get the ball away.
Harvey Wilson away.
Wilson,
you cannot fault the effort of Salford. It's been sporadic. And there's been lapses in concentration where they've let easy tries in, but with moments like this, there is still fight in the shirts. They're going to get more possession here.
Well, they've got a 6 again. We'll come back to you in a moment for your player of the match call. 4.5 minutes to go, 32 points to 4. 16-0 Catalan led at half-time. Salford going to have the final say. Hill at dummy half.
3. Move now. Hold.
Paul Rowley will be proud of that, there's no doubt. The performance and the effort. Playing for the jersey, playing for the club.
Playing for each other.
Yeah. In times of crisis. Mellor. Good pass for Cham. Gets the try at the end, and you have to say, solely deserves. Since he came back on, Jackie Chan has been an absolute influence. He's a French international. He was born and he was brought up in Perpignan, and he's just scored a cracker. Made the first, scored the second.
Yeah, let's get home.
Again, a grateful recipient of a short pass, and I just wonder if his dad, Alex, has given another little silent celebration amongst all the coaching staff from Catalan Dragons. He pushes 3 experienced players out of the way. It's muted celebrations because of that lopsided scoreboard. But the 2 tries, the 8 points, possibly 10, are largely down to Tiaki Chan.
Brought up, of course, in Perpignan. Brought up speaking fluent French. He's a French national, plays for France. He very much feels part of the country. Alex Cham, general manager at the Catalan Dragons. Ryan Briley with the 2 points. But yeah, I'm pretty sure a little fist pump under the desk. And why not? His son has played a blinder since he's come on. 32 points to 10 and no more than Salford deserve.
And they appreciate the effort that he has put in, and it's around about time for the Betfred player of the match. Well, there's been some good solid performances from the home team. Aspiro Bichet has been impressive. He continues to improve every game. Oliver Partington has done a mountain of work. Tommy Makinson with those 2 tries has caught the attention, but for me, the Betfred player of the match is a player that has been under some scrutiny, has had to answer the critics, but today has had an outstanding game, and it's Luke Keary.
Yeah, we'll hopefully be getting a word with Luke Keary after a victory. Player of the match, and Makinson there slipping on the kick-off, but he managed to get the kick away. Good job it wasn't a penalty shootout. 2 minutes to go, 32 points to 10. As Shorrock's lost the ball, well, there he is. Luke Keary, arguably his best performance in the Catalan.
I would say so, yeah. The Island international hasn't found it easy life in Catalan.
But now we do have the captain's challenge. All very few times.
You have to play the card. If you've got it, you have to play it.
90 seconds to go, let's see.
So we've got a captain's challenge, and Salford are challenging the ruling of a knock-on. So we'll go tight in on this. Shorrock's in possession of the ball. Still in possession. He's turning round there. And then play it through, keep playing through. And as he shrugs off, he loses the ball. Challenge unsuccessful.
Scrum, boys! Where do you want it?
No.
It was worth a try, but no.
Yeah, it was worth a try, but no. That just about sums it up. 32 points to 10 knock on it was. What a great weekend though for the Chan family. His brother Joe made his first appearance of the season for Melbourne yesterday, albeit in defeat against Christian Wool's rejuvenated Dolphins side. Another performance today of Jackie Chan, his brother doing Salford proud. So into the last 90 seconds, is there going to be another Catalan try? 86,080 record attendance weekend for Super League. 6-round Super League game. Easter weekend, bringing out the crowds. It looks like bringing out a convincing win here for the Catalan Dragons. As Garcia into the last minute, a yard away from that line. And Kieran hoisted up for Makinson, and there it is. Tommy Makinson has the last say, the 14th hat-trick of his career. Kieran making it again. Makinson hadn't scored a try for the Dragons until tonight, and he comes up with 3. He comes up with the hat-trick, and Makinson makes hay.
Well, the same two players that combined for the first try combined for the last try. A beautifully weighted kick is collected by Tommy Makinson, who's grateful to get those first 3 tries for his new club. He's had a day out, hasn't he, Tommy Makinson? He's probably left 2 or 3 as well. A fantastic kick and a fantastic catch by 2 quality players.
Well, the man of the match, the player of the match making it, and the man who ran him very close for second place scoring it. So the Cats are going to score 38 points for the second consecutive week after their victory over Huddersfield last weekend. Espuro Bichet, it looked pretty good, and it is pretty good. So 38 points to 10, it finishes. Catalan Dragons with a big win, which will lift them up to 7th in the table. Salford gave it absolutely everything. They managed to put together a competitive side, and they managed to put together a competitive performance, but they were no match for the Catalan Dragons, who are just beginning to find their feet in Super League this season. Up to 7th in the table, but a big effort, you have to say, too, from Salford.
Well, I suppose in a game like that, and if you don't look at the scoreboard, you want to know whether your team has turned up, had a dig. The scoreboard pretty lopsided in terms of the home team, 38 points to 10, but the effort, as I said, was sporadic from Salford. But they got on the scoreboard, that's the important thing.
Yeah, it was 16 points to 0 at half-time. Makinson, Sims and Bousquet with the tries, and the key score, the key moment came just after half-time. Salford had an opportunity through Masters and Connell, didn't they, to perhaps score a try. They bombed the chance. Chris Satay scored. That, in the end, was that. Salford came back nearly 5 hours without a Super League try. They got 2 from Vaughan and Chan, and we'll be back with all the reaction in just a moment.